Take out your notes.
Oh yeah.
Fractions and decimals. Fractions and decimals. We're going to talk about how to convert a fraction to a decimal, and then how to convert a decimal to a fraction. Okay? Like 1/2 to 0.5, or 7/10 to 0.7, or 0.5 to 5/10, which is 1/2. Do you see how fractions and decimals are related? You can express a decimal as a fraction. You can express most decimals as fractions. Some decimals you cannot express as a fraction. Those are called irrational numbers. Irrational numbers, like pi. Yeah, not apple pie. The 3.1419.
It's 1.5. 3.1415.
96254 something or other. Keep going.
3.14.
So anyway, it's irrational numbers like that. You cannot express those as fractions unless you rounded them. Okay? All right. Now listen. You can easily write decimals as fractions, terminating decimals, like 0.62. If you read the number and then write the place of the last digit as the denominator. You read this number 62 hundredths. So you write 62 hundredths. That is awesome. It's so simple to write this as a fraction if you know what place the 2 is in. 62 hundredths. Now, you're probably not done at that point because you have to convert it to simplest form. But we know how to do that. We learned that a couple days ago. Simplest form. Start by dividing them both by a number. Any number. Doesn't have to be the greatest common factor. It could be any common factor. 62 divided by 2 is 31. 100 divided by 2 is 50. Is that lowest terms? How do you know?
31 is prime.
31 is prime. It's not divisible by 2. It's not divisible by 3. It's not divisible by 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19. It doesn't go into 50. So, it's probably a prime number. It is a prime number. What if you have a decimal with a whole number? Yeah, that makes a mixed number. The 4, with this means 4 whole pizzas. 4 and 35 hundredths. So you write 4 as the whole number and 35 hundredths as the fraction, and then reduce it. Simplify it. 4 and 7/20ths. How would we get 7/20ths? What would we divide both of these numbers by to get 7/20ths? Sam?
5.
By 5, right. Is 7/20ths simplest form? Yeah, 7 is a prime number, and it doesn't go into 20, so that's simplest form. Right? Okay, so let's go on to how to find the decimal form of a fraction. All right? First, we learned earlier that you can divide the top number by the bottom number. This means division. 1 divided by 9. Okay? This bar is a division bar. So 1 divided by 9, that's what we need to do in order to convert this to a decimal. The top number goes inside the box. The 9 is the divisor. 9 doesn't go into 1, So we have to add a decimal point and put the decimal point above the line. And then do 1 into 10. Goes 1 time. 1 times 9 is 9. Subtract, you get 1. Bring down a 0, you get 10 again.
And it would just keep going.
And it would just keep going and going and going.
Which is why you did it.
Right, that's called a repeating decimal. Okay. A repeating decimal.
Would it work with like 8?
With 8.
Or like 1 for that.
Well, let's see. You're gonna find a pattern with ninths. But let's talk about this. How would you write this as a decimal then? You would have to write it with the repeating sign above the 1. The 1 is going to repeat forever and ever and ever, isn't it? So we write the repeating sign above the 1 and read this as 1/10 repeating. Repeat that.
1/10 repeating.
Right. I think Garrett asked, well, what if you had 8/9? Put this one in your notes. We would do 8 divided by 9, right? And 9 doesn't go into 8, so we need a decimal point. And we'll have to use 80. Right? 9 goes into 80 8 times. 8 times 9 is 72. 8. What do we get? Bring down another 0.
Oh, it just keeps going on.
That's 80.
I meant like the...
Yep. Wait. What would the answer be then? What would 8/9 equal to as a decimal? Ava?
0.8 in the repeating sign.
Right. 8/10 repeating. Repeat.
8/10 repeating.
8/10 repeating. So, does anyone guess what 6? Let's not use 6. How about 5/9? Anyone guess what 5/9 is? Great. 5/10 repeating. How about 4/9?
It would work the same way.
Yeah, that's a pattern for ninths. Okay. What about 3/9? Repeat.
Whoa, it's different.
No, it's not different.
Oh, it's not different.
No, it
0.3
is.
repeating. 0.3 repeating?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
0.3 repeating. Now, the interesting thing about 3/9 is this can be reduced to what?
1/3.
1/3. So what is 1/3 as a decimal?
3 times, 3 goes into 10. No.
It's the same thing, isn't it? Because these are equal fractions.
Oh, yeah.
Equal fractions will give you the same decimal, won't they? In other words, 5/10 and 1/2 give you the same decimal. What's 5/10? 0.5. What's 1/2?
0.5.
0.5. Right?
Uh-huh.
They mean the same value. Isn't that cool? Okay,
Yeah.
let's do... No, let's stop. Any questions about where to put the repeating sign? The repeating sign should go... So let's do this. Let's do 1/6. How would we do 1/6?
0.6.
No, and not quite.
0.1.
Let's do this one. 6 into 1. Remember the 1 was in the box. Okay. 6 goes into 10. How many times? 1 time. 1 times 6 is 6. Bring down another 0. 6 into 40 goes
6 times. 6 times.
6 times. 6 times 6 is 36.
4 equals 4.
4.
0. 16
0.
repeating. No.
Is it 16 repeating?
No, it's 1. No, 0.1666666.
Right, right. So where would we put the repeating sign in this case?
Over the 6. Which one? There's 2.
Should we put another 6 here?
No.
No, because the 6 is already repeating. Where would we put the repeating sign, Lily? Would we put it over both numbers or just the 6?
Just the 6.
Just the 6. Only put it over the number that's repeating. Okay, here.
Because if you put it over the 1 and 6, then it would repeat 16 and 16.
Right, right. Put it over all the numbers that repeat. Okay?
Oh, but then how would you read that?
This would read, you'd read it as 16 hundredths with the 6 repeating.
Just read it.
Okay.
It's reading.
Yeah.
What about if there's 2 digits on the top?
2 digits on the top.
Like 76 over there.
Oh, yeah. So would you switch the numbers, you mean? Would you, let's say you have 38 twelfths. Okay, would you put this in the, how would you convert this to a decimal?
38 in the box, right?
Yep, 38 goes in the box. Twelfths.
3 times.
Now you could reduce this first, couldn't you?
Yeah, I guess you could.
You could
Maybe
do
we should.
19 sixths. Might be easier to divide, right? You want to do that instead?
Yeah.
All right, let's do 19 sixths. 6 goes into 19. 3 times. Yep. So the decimal point is going to go after this. And this is 19 is a whole number. This goes 3 times. 3 times 18. Remainder 1. Bring down a 0. 6 goes into 10. 1, 6, 4. Bring down the 0. 6. 6, 6, 6.
That's weird.
Right. So
3.16 repetitive on the 6.
There's not enough paper
Okay.
in the world to draw as many 6s.
no, there is not. All right. Have fun.